Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Minecraft Age of Engineering. As you can see, the base has now been completed, and I've moved the smeltery. So, we're kind of just getting right into this episode. What I've done in between was actually finish up the base, because I knew it was going to take me quite a bit of building. And in fact, it has taken me about 12 days in game to build it. So, maybe that 100 days is looking really bad, but for now, we're actually just going to focus on complete progression. So in here, we have kind of a bulk little storage for our wood types and for like stone and all that. We got all that here. We have kind of general purpose storage here. We have some ore storage here for all of the different ores that we will be using. And then I moved the smeltery back and began moving it up. And then up here, we have a new area which has even more bulk storage for all of our sorts of things. And then a bunch of seeds and all that up here. And then, yeah, it's a nice open space, so we should be able to fit all of our industrial craft machines in here. And also can have access to the roof, solar power, eventually. But yes, this should be a good little area for a good amount of our machines and most of our storage, which will eventually fill up this whole back wall. And then down here, we're going to have general crafting stations and a bit more storage, as well as the ore smelting out here. And then what we're going to have down in this section here is going to be just kind of our area for creosote oven, which will likely go here. That'll be the coke oven, which will go here, or it'll go somewhere around here. And one of those two options is And now we need to go up here, grab some clay, and I think we had some bronze boots, some bronze ingots there. We also have the shovel that needs to be fixed. Right. Okay, so some more tin. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a few different bits and pieces. So first off, we need to actually get this clay smelting, because what we need is the molten clay, and then the molten clay can actually be used to cast these casts. So these will be like temporary casts, which we can use to cast on metal. And then it looks like there's no alloy for this one in this one, which is very nice. In the past, I have some other versions have alloys with clay, so you can cause issues. The other thing is we want to make some bronze. And to make bronze, we need to smelt all of this into molten copper, and that can alloy into either Constantine, which we don't want, bronze, which is what we will want, which is 3 copper to 1 tin, or we can actually make aluminum brass, and we can also make the molten brass. We're not going for brass, we're going for bronze. So I'll throw these in here. Oh, I can't melt that down. Okay. We'll throw these in here, and then that much. And that should melt down nice and fast. And then we'll also throw in the copper for the iron, since I don't think that should mix with anything. I also lit up a huge amount of the base, so we don't have to worry about mobs at nighttime, which is very helpful. Next up, we actually need to make the obsidian. So to do that, we need to add lava, which we can just do by simply clicking into the spout. We'll grab one more tank there, put some lava in. And now let's go grab some water and actually set up an infinite water source over here. We'll set up that source. No, we'll set it right here under this pillar. And one right there. So now we can grab this, put that in there. As you can see, we have one thing of obsidian. Now let's put in the other thing of water. And boom, we have 2 blocks worth of obsidian, a bunch of clay, a bunch of bronze, and a bunch of iron. Now we need to actually go back up top, and we need to go make some bulk tools. What we're going to do is we're just going to grab a bunch of cobblestone, go into the pot builder, going to grab our axe head. Oh, it looks like we're actually missing a few pieces. I think these were lost in the creeper explosion that happened a little bit ago, and I lost a good amount of my loot to that. So I think that's where these pieces had gone, which is really unfortunate, but I mean, hey, we can easily recover and put everything back in there. So now if we grab our axe head, we want a binding. Let's do the axe and the pickaxe for now. Binding, we want 2 of those. And then pickaxe head and axe head. We shove all that back in there. And now, head back out here. Plunk that up. Put that in there. Switch it to the clay. And we can cast out the clay. And so do that for all these casts. And then we have a very kind of specific plan. We're going to do, I believe it's going to be obsidian, bronze, and... yeah, I think obsidian, bronze, and maybe just wood for the tool handle. We're going to actually take a look in here and see what all we want. The benefit of this, we go, not tools, I want tool materials. So this is where you can see everything. So obsidian, as you can see, has a really good head durability and mining level of cobalt, which is very nice. And yeah, I think what this means is it can kind of shift depending on, like it might take more damage occasionally. But yeah, we're gonna make the head out of obsidian. And then bronze, as you can see here, it's mining level of diamond, so it is pretty good. But it has dense, which is, lasts longer when it has more durability, which is very handy. And that is on the handle. And then the last material might just be the wood, which heals itself over time. Or we could even do... iron is actually not too bad. 0.85 modifier on 0.85 on the iron. 1.1. Actually, we might put the handle as bronze. And then perhaps the iron would be the middle. That could be quite nice, having iron as the binding. The only other option would really be like the wood. Yeah, that's really the only better option. I mean, treated wood would also be very nice, but we unfortunately do not have treated wood quite yet. Okay, so I think that is a plan. Also with the axe head, I believe we're going to cast those out of bronze as well. So I cast an axe head, and then we'll get the rest done. This, pink. Now we need this, switch it back to clay. And we'll finish making all of the molds. Alright, now that we have the molds completed, we are going to make the pickaxe head. There we go. And now both of these will be made out of bronze. There's 2. Now we actually need the handles. And we should just be able to put a stick and then cast the clay. Okay, no, we do need a tool handle. So let me go make 2 of those real quick. And while we're up here, we will go ahead and upgrade the tools to basic, to the new things. So we'll add this and add that. Actually, no, we want to repair this first. So we want to go find our flint, which is not up here. Might have to go find more flint. Yes, okay, I'll be back once I've gotten that flint. Okay, so the reason I need that flint is because I wanted to repair this tool back up. And now we'll put the 2 new pieces on it. And you'll see that'll take the durability from what it is here. And it should put that durability up higher. Oh wait, no, we wanted to make the handles out of bronze. Right, the handles are going to be out of bronze. And I think we were going to do the iron for the tool things. That is fine. I can fix that up. Nice and easy. So we're going to throw those back in there, and those will just melt down exactly as we need them. In the meantime, we can just cast out all of this, which is very helpful. Go. That. And then make another one. Alright. Now we're going to cast these out of iron. unlike before where I made my mistake. There we go. Make those out of iron. And now we shift this back over to the bronze and make 2 bronze handles. Yes, because as you can see, they have a 1.1 modifier, which is a modifier of the durability. And you can see we still have some stuff left in here, so it says 6 ingots left, 2 ingots left, and 2 blocks. So what we can do now is an ingot cast. We have this selected, and then we'll just pour out these ingots. And so I'll finish casting all these ingots, and then I'll be back. Okay, and we are back. So first, going to finish upgrading the pickaxe. There we go. Much higher durability now. So finish that one up. And then we'll finish up this axe, going up to an even higher durability. So this can now mine all the way up to diamond. And speaking of diamond, I was doing a little bit, so to get all the cobblestone for this, I was doing some tunneling down in the mining dimension, and I made quite a discovery. So if we head down this nice little staircase, we managed to locate some actual diamonds down here. There we go, right there, diamonds. And so I wanted to save these for the recording, of course. And there we go, achievement get diamonds. And there was quite a lot down here, goodness. A whole 6 diamonds. Now, this may seem like a lot, but we actually need a lot of diamonds. As you can see, there's quite a few different pieces that take them. So what we specifically need diamonds for is this piece of equipment right here, also known as a small storage crate. Now, these are incredibly powerful, but they're needed for a different reason. So this is a wood casing, which is incredibly easy to make, and is used in some other things. But mainly, it's used for the small storage crate, which we then need 2 of in order to make, well, 1 of in order to make a toolbox. This toolbox makes us the metal former, which is one of the most important pieces of equipment we can get our hands on here early. And so, because this lets us make all sorts of things like ingots straight into 3 of those, as well as like you can do plates back into ingots, but all the ingots into the rods, and then ingots into plates, and then I believe it's plates into, oh yeah, it's ingots into plates, or ingots, yeah, and then this is plates into casings, which is very helpful. They're just all of this. And so we need 1 of those. We also would like a block cutting machine. The block cutting machine. There we go, block cutting machine, which is very simple to begin with, but it needs a diamond cutting wheel. So there's quite a few things we need the diamonds for. And then this just goes to bedrock. But yes, I just wanted to grab those diamonds before we did anything else. And so what we need to work on next is going to actually be the coke oven. And that is something I've not really shown how to work towards, but let's go ahead and take a look. So, coke. To make it, we need the coke bricks, which is this, a completely different recipe than the standard recipe, and one of the first majorly changed ones. And what we need is seared bricks, which we've already know how to make because that's what we used to make the smeltery, and these lava wood. Now, lava wood is taken by casting 25 millibuckets of lava onto any type of wood, and it makes a lava wood. Now, this is easy enough because we just use a casting basin specifically, but a handy tip for this is using a fluid tank from Ender.io specifically, and so that'd be 1 of these, which just needs a bit of iron, some glass, and then the benefit of this is we can have it push and pull fluids, and it'll quickly automate this process. And so what we are going to do is get that made up, and what we're going to need is more iron, which we have a good amount of iron saved up. So I'm going to grab that iron, smelt it down, though I think I want to try out something silly. I think because we're up here, we can just toss the iron in like this. Yes, and that actually will begin smelting. So I'm going to grab all my iron and just chuck it in the top. Ta-da! Look at that. So that'll now all smelt down. And while we're up here, I will also grab all this bauxite, which smelts into aluminum, and toss that in there. Because we want the bauxite for a hopper. And getting a hopper, plus building a redstone clock, which is an actual, like, item from, I believe it is Aggressive Automation. No, Extra Utilities, which is very easy. It's just some cobblestone, some redstone, and a redstone torch, and it makes a redstone clock. And that quite literally just pulses this every so often, and so we could place that up here. And if we have a hopper here with a double chest there, we can just infinitely cast out all of these. So as you can see here, we have a block. So because we have a block, we're going to cast the block out that side. And then the ingot out this side. And you may also be wondering, why am I even making aluminum? Because I was saying a hopper. That is because hoppers in this require aluminum ingots. And so we have an aluminum now. Switch this back over to the iron. Cast that. And let's go quickly make a hopper. Actually, I'll craft up all the stuff I need for this redstone clock. And then we'll be back. Okay, we now have all the additions we need to be able to make this fully, well, not fully automated, but, you know, semi-automated. First, we dig out the ground, and then replace this so it looks nice and clean. We put down our double chest, and we put our hopper facing there, and we put that like that. We put this up here, and then we put a lever on it, so we can turn it off. We can keep it on. As you can see, as it's on, it is casting this. And it's not casting this one because it is, you know, separate. And so now this will auto cast everything. And I think we even started casting, yeah, it's going to start casting bricks, but I'll use those later anyway. But that is where you can turn this off once it is done. And I think I'll move the lever to front. But now I can dump all this tin in here. And then all this lead, and it will just simply melt all of it and cast it like so. So now that is a fully automated process, which is super helpful. Now it just all ends up in there. But now that we have finished that, we have all the stuff we need to make the iron tank. First, we have to go fetch a piece of glass. I think the clear glass should work, at least I hope. If not, we can always make different glass. And we got a tank. This poop that works. Awesome. So we now have our fluid tank. Put the extra one of those in there. Let's go to the lava pit, which is over here. Now I actually just got the second lava pit, so we have like two over this direction. Yeah, we're gonna go to this one right here and stock up on lava. Keep an eye on those zombies, make sure they don't sneak up on me. And so this thing can hold 16 buckets of lava. There we go. Fill it up on lava. And now let's fight these guys real quick before we head back. And we'll pick that up. And that has all of our lava in it. To also harvest our previous crop field. Including trying to pick the worms back up. Okay. Now, let's get to work on those oak bricks. So we're going to grab the casting basin, and then we're going to press, actually, no, we're going to steal our hopper real quick. We're also going to steal a chest, or at least the materials to make a chest. One of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to go chest, that, one of these, and that. Actually, I could fully automate this, but how we go here is we go to configure, go to the bottom, and we set this to push. And so it won't push right yet. Let's go we have enough of this to make another hopper. So we'll make that real quick. And then we'll set this on the side there. And now we'll put that like that. And so this will now automatically make all of our lava wood that we need. And so on top of all the lava wood, we're going to need all the sealed bricks, which I luckily have been making a bunch of those in the meantime. So we're just kind of going to be a bit of a waiting game until this is finished and we have all the lava wood. But we do have one last thing we need to make, which is a hammer. Specifically the engineer's hammer. Now, this requires sticks, iron ingots, and string. And we have all of those in abundance. Now we got 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. Think engineer's hammer. Now, there was a very good reason for needing the engineer's hammer, and this is how we actually make the coke oven once we have all the bricks placed. Then you also see here the forge hammer, and this is what we need to begin working on industrial craft, but it requires iron ingots and treated sticks. And treated sticks we have no way to make without treated planks, which are made from treated wood, which is creosote, bucket, and planks. So it's very simple. It's just we need this device to finish making the coke oven, which I think will just go right here for now. And then we might put a second one over here, though for right now the house is just going to stay as is. And we also are going to stay in here away from the rain so our compression does not die. Next up, we're going to want to make a wrench. And we want the Industrial Craft 2 wrench, which is a bunch of bronze, like so. Bing. There we go. And the reason we want that is because we need that to actually break a lot of our tools. And you'll see a lot of these types of wrenches. And basically all of these tech mods need a wrench in order to either move the stuff around or to destroy the blocks without completely destroying them. And then another thing we actually should do real quick is go out here to claim chunks. We have our claims, but then if we shift click, if we shift click, you can see it is chunk loaded. So we want to chunk load our area. And I'm just going to chunk load the 2 of these right now. There we go. And as you can see down here, we can have 50 loaded chunks and 42 and 100 claimed chunks. So we have to kind of be careful with how we plan things out, which means I probably should actually start chunk aligning. And luckily, this base seems to fit within 4 chunks for the most part. We'll just have to keep in mind it's not fully chunk aligned, which is completely my fault. I never think about chunk aligning until it's too late. But now that it's chunk aligned, well, chunk thing, that means that this will go the entire time I'm gone, and this will go the entire time I'm gone. And what makes that very helpful is I can now go into the mining dimension, and those will still be functioning while I'm in the mining dimension. And so we can go in here, go down, and begin to strip mine. Mainly, I want redstone ore, which if we look here in the Willow Gen, spawns around the same level as diamond. And so we're basically going to go strip mine for diamond. And I will let you know if I find anything while I am down here. Mainly, I'll let you know if I find any diamonds. Y12, the classic. And we're going to go to the left to begin with. So I will see you guys back in a bit once I have finished mining. Alright, welcome back. We have done a good amount of mining. Mainly I was getting a lot more redstone, and I got a lot of iron. I was not at quite the level for redstone and tin, because I was at iron level, but we got a bunch of material. And we have like 2 blocks, that's over there. And so this is starting to cast all that out that I got. Mainly, I was going for redstone and also a bunch of coal, which is very nice. Anyway, we are now going to be making a coke bricks. We should have everything we need with the 56 of these mixed with 56 of those. So take this, boop, bop, bam, 28. Yes, and we'll go right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. like that. Make sure this is all aligned. Yep. There we go, and we have 1 block left over. That's fine, and we can use that, honestly, when we go to make the next one. Now we have a coke oven. So you might ask, how does coke oven work? Well, for example, let's take... So you can see here the block of coal coke. That is simply made by taking a block of coal, making it into a block of coal coke. And so we will take some coal, make it into a block of coal. And we'll do like 6, right? Now we throw these into there. And now this will slowly cook down. And once that is done, it'll make us a block of coal coke and creosote oil. It'll make 500 millibuckets of creosote oil, which we can then use to make our treated planks. So that is going to take a little while. And so, in the meantime, this is also almost completely empty, which is kind of insane. We're going to turn this off real quick. I'm going to use what's left of this to make some obsidian, so I can actually repair my pickaxe. I may switch out the pickaxe head. And then I think we're going to do a lot more mining, just because we need so much material. We'll also take down this little setup and rebuild our setup over here. Alright, and then I will probably go ahead and head out for that mining, and then return once I have finished gathering all of that ore and everything else I need. I'll let you guys know the progress once that has been finished. Alright everyone, welcome back, and as you can see, the coke oven is actually finished. We have 2 blocks of coke now and a bunch of creosote oil. And so, first I'm actually going to go grab a couple of my spruce trees over here, because we are going to need some wood and some crafting table to be able to finish up what we are doing. And the specific reason I want the crafting table is because it's probably just going to have a bucket living it the whole time to be able to make and empty all this creosote oil out. And very likely, our next building project will use a lot of creosote oil, or we might expand our current house with creosote oil. Well, treated wood, I should say. We also might be able to use the treated oil for fuel in order to generate power. Now, I am not sure on this, as I have not really tested it, but I do want to give it a try. Because there's something called the semi-fluid generator, which I know can burn stuff like oil, but it might be able to burn the creosote oil. And so we shall give that a try, as I have not used that in any of my previous runs. Anyway, first, we're going to make the crafting table, and then we're going to make it into a crafting station. So I can place it like this, and then move it like that. And now, we can put this in there, and boom. And so we can actually just make creosote just like that, and it makes it very simple. And so I'll make a few more of these. Okay, the creosote planks are done. So I have a bunch of treated wood planks. We can now make into treated sticks. Grab a bunch of this iron out. Also have to quickly waste a little bit of copper, just because we had a bit of an oopsie. I put the aluminum in alongside all of our copper, and I ended up making a bunch of aluminum brass, which isn't a complete waste, because as you can see, these little templates here, you can actually make the aluminum brass into the casts that you see, so that can be very helpful. We're just gonna have to waste a little bit more. Not too bad. We'll do that like that, and now that'll cast all that iron out, including we have a couple blocks worth. Let's grab our crafting table on a stick, these like this, put this around like so, and there it is, the forge hammer. And we have officially triggered age 1 the industrial age. And so I think for now, we're going to display these on the front porch, right there. There we go. That's the trophy for age 1. And now we have a forge hammer. And what's the first thing we're going to do? Well, now we need to work towards steel. And so steel has a couple ways of making it. The main way we're going to be looking for is the Industrial Craft 2 steel, specifically made from a blast furnace. And so in order to make this steel, we need compressed air and a few other things, but also the blast furnace, which needs basic machine casings, all that. Though, the first 2 machines we're going to make are going to be the macerator, which requires the diamond cutting blade. So we're going to need to go get more diamonds, unfortunately, before we can quite have ore doubling. And we are going to need the electric furnace, or not electric furnace, a generator. And we have a whole bunch of different generators in fact, but we are going to be looking specifically for this generator, which is quite simple. It just takes a furnace, a machine casing, and a RE battery, which needs tin and insulated tin cable. And this is where we need the rubber from. And so how do we get rubber? Well, it's easy. We smelt the sticky resin, and that we get from a tree sap tap. Tree sap tap. There we go. We'll make one of these real quick. Can I make it out of this? No, I cannot. I need actual wood. There we go. Tree sap tap. And now we have all of our resin trees over here. So if we simply reveal all of the bark on these guys, plunk. There we go. And so the typical solution that people do is they'll just trim the side of the trees like so. Reveal little orange spots on them. So you can grab it and shoot it 2 billion miles away. It always flies out. And so that is why I've been so focused on getting all these rubber trees, so that way we would never run out of rubber. And then there is another option for the rubber trees, which is to take them and to take the logs, and then we can actually turn the logs into rubber as well via a extractor or something, I think. That is going to be a little ways away. We do not quite have that yet. So for now, we must gather some trees. So we don't have very much rubber, a little bit of sticky resin. Let's go fetch the rest that we have stored upstairs. We shall throw it into the furnace. Meanwhile, we need to work on the other things, which is the generator. A few different options, but we need this one here. And so now we need the plates. And the plates, it's 2 iron ingots and a forge hammer. And so right now, the recipe is rather inefficient, but we will get past that. Now we take that, and we take 8. This. Put it like this. Boom. And then we make a machine casing simply just like that. And now all we need is the battery, which needs some redstone and some tin item casings. Do I have any tin up here? No, all the tin is downstairs. There's all the tin. Okay. And this is now empty. I'm going to go into here. Make 4. Yes, so we take those. I think I need 4 to make the battery. And we need 4 to make the battery. And now we need the tin cable, which needs cutters. So we actually need 3 more iron plates. So, and then 2 iron. Yep, those are the cutters. Now we use those on the remaining plates to make cables. Now the tin cables are the basic energy transfer, and if we put rubber on them, it makes them into the insulated, which is really good, so we don't burn ourselves or shock ourselves when trying to interact with the machines. And I said I was going to put these up here. So let's make our machine. We need 2 bits of redstone. Should have in... It's also downstairs. We will have better organization eventually, but for right now, it is going to be rather lackluster. Okay. there is our battery. So if we take battery, machine casing, and this, we have a generator, which will be the first of many. Well, we now have our first machine officially. And so I think how we're going to do this is I think the machines are going to go on this level here. And I'm probably going to have a platform. That way we can have our power. And then we can have the cables running underneath. Now, if we wanted to get a metal former, I think we might actually have all the materials to make one of these. Yes, we just need we need a compressor first. So I think all of that would be next episode. Basically, gunning it straight towards steel. I'm gonna have to go mining for a bit more gold, a few more diamonds, and a few other things in order to finish up and get ready for the next stage. Also do a little bit more organization, mainly expanding the storage stores and stuff up there. Though we have got our tools all upgraded and ready to go, and we have a good amount of resources ready and officially made it to the industrial age. And so with that, I will ask you to please like and subscribe, leave a comment if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, and that will be it. I wish you all a farewell, and I shall see you in the next episode, where hopefully we'll be able to make our first ingot of steel.